Good morning. Thanks so much for starting your Wednesday with ABC 6 News. Good morning. Just after 6 o'clock, February 3rd. Brianna Long joining us live from the sides of the roads this morning. She'll give us an update just a bit on your morning commute conditions. But first, meteorologist Cindy Morgan has been busy over the last week now, and it is finally almost over, right?
Right. Man, we were tracking that system for almost a whole entire week, and it came through, and yeah, totals were pretty high with this one.
Right.
We're still feeling the influences yet today. I mean, the conditions on the roads are really rough.
They are.
Yet this morning. So don't let that fool yourselves. Even though it's beyond us, we are still dealing with the influences. Let's look at totals, though, from across the area. Most of them came in around that 6 to 10 inch range. And that's right in line with what we're thinking. Now, these numbers are a touch older. They're from last night. We know how it goes. Most folks aren't up this early. And as a result of that, we just don't have any updated numbers from overnight snows. Those will start to roll in later on this morning. So there they are, looking at quite a bit, and still some snow falling in the area yet this morning. Some light patchy snow off to our west here. But we can see the bulk of the snow is passing off to our east into Wisconsin, just starting to push past the region. Some light snow showers around Rochester, just east of Preston and near Harmony. That is going to wrap up over the next couple of hours. So as we check in on our winter weather headlines, we have expired our blizzard warning as of just 2 minutes ago. Also that winter storm warning. Winter weather advisory still issued, though, for the western part, southwest part of Minnesota, northwest Iowa. That's because that's where we're still having some issues with some blowing and drifting snow, especially in those areas. So that's going to be going on until noon. Really what that's trying to tell you is be careful on the roadways. I'm going to advise that for everybody. Many of them are still reported through Minnesota 511 and Iowa 511 as covered. Road crews need time to work on things, and this blowing snow this morning not really going to help out very much. It's going to make it more difficult because it will recover any roads that have been cleared off. But as winds weaken through today, we'll start to see some improvements and look at better conditions for your evening commute.
Thank you, Cindy. And for the
You're watching ABC 6 News, the first television station in Minnesota designated as a storm-ready supporter by the National Weather Service.
Our big winter storm is pushing through the area. We're still going to feel the effects of it today, though, in a few ways. Let's actually look at that. Here's our satellite and radar. We can see there's a patch of snow that is pushing off to our east. That's the last of the falling snow for us. We're going to be wrapping that up, and no more accumulations expected at all. The low pressure system itself is just passing off to our east. And as that's going off to the east, it is actually going to leave us now with some strong winds and some cooler temperatures. Winds move counterclockwise around low pressure systems, and because it's off to our east, we're in a portion right now where they're generally from the north to northwest. It's also a section of a low pressure system where we see some very strong winds, and we're already seeing that across our area this morning. As we touched on before, that is creating some blowing and drifting snow. That's why we're still concerned about travel this morning, and that will stay that way up until about the afternoon when our winds start to weaken. That's when that blowing, drifting snow no longer going to be a problem for us, and we'll see some pretty decent improvements in at least our conditions outside. So that wind is going to, of course, keep us with some travel concerns this morning, but also bringing in some cooler temperatures. This is actually our warmest point of the day, or one of the warmer points of the day. We're going to go into the teens by the afternoon, about 15 degrees around 5 o'clock as those northwest winds pushing in that cooler air in northern Minnesota and North Dakota. This is a live look outside right now over Rochester, and you can see what I'm talking about. Still a little bit of a haze in the sky, and that some of that blowing snow just drifting in town. Out in the open areas, it is a little bit worse. Now, roads obviously still snow covered, so many folks choosing to take it slow. I advise you to do the same. 21 degrees is our current temperature, but that wind, 23 miles per hour. Let's talk about that bus stop forecast. So some schools are closed. Others are delayed. Others are on schedule. You'll find them on our website at KLTV.com. You can also see them scrolling on the bottom of your screen. 19 in the morning, blowing and drifting snow will be about 20 degrees this afternoon, but weaker winds bringing in some better conditions. Now, for you kids that are staying home today, this is for you. Get outside. It's perfect snow that fell yesterday to make snowmen and snow forts because it's that kind that sticks together, and it's going to be real easy to make both. Hopefully you get outside and get a chance to enjoy. storm tracker. Our low pressure system, that big winter storm, is moving off to the east. And as it keeps going eastward, it is going to bring us some slightly better conditions. That falling snow coming to an end early this morning, but also wind speeds. Those will start to weaken as we head into the afternoon. That's important for us. It's because right now they are blowing quite hard. We've got some blowing and drifting snow, keeping travel quite slow outside. But now, once it's gone off to our east, we're going to turn our attention to this little low pressure system. It's coming in from Canada. Not nearly as big or an issue as this last one that's moved through, but we still do have to monitor it for a chance of snow showers. These come through in the afternoon as that cold front sweeps through and brings us that chance. Now, this is going to be on our Thursday, and then immediately behind it, we've got another little one, a similar kind of track that's going to move through on Friday. So we've got those snow chances on there for that. Our snow meter shows that our impacts from today still being felt from yesterday's snow, mostly because that blowing snow still an issue, especially for the first half of today. Now, conditions improve later on. Tomorrow, that snow, very light, small showers. We should see minor impacts, if any at all. Similar situation for our Friday. So the almanac shows the average high temperature of 25 degrees. Yesterday, we ended up at 30. We hit that early on in the day and fell back into the low 20s, which is where we're standing right now. But the snowfall totals helped us catch up. Of obviously only just a couple of days into the month, but for the season, we're now only about 4 inches behind where the average is. Our temperatures now around 20 degrees, some of the teens starting to sneak in. Remember, we talked about that with northwest winds now in play and colder air off to our northwest. Our temperatures will continue to fall. We'll be about 15 degrees around 5 o'clock, continuing down to 5 degrees by tomorrow morning with those wind chills down to 10 below. And then tomorrow, those PM snow showers. Again, that's that first little low pressure system sweeping through. There's that second one on Friday, which is what we see here on our 7-day forecast. The weekend looks good and clear, 30 degrees returning. But we do have another dip in temperatures. Looks like down to 10 on Tuesday.
Goodness, road crews definitely getting a workout from yesterday until, gosh, the end of the week.
Yeah, you know, we just really don't get any rest for the weary on this kind of forecast. But at least it's not 6 to 10 inches of snow again on every other day. These are relatively mild.
Yeah, well, thank you, Cindy. And of course, those roads still pretty tricky this morning, and it will continue.